Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Today I'm going to be talking about Rune Slayer. Pretty much what we pretty much did on stream yesterday and stuff like that. Honestly, I had a great time. Um, the just what kind of like what I've gone through so far with the game, my experiences, and what do I think about it. From when I was first told, right? I was first told about the game, and I was told, Koi, don't play it yet. It's a buggy mess. Like, wait for the experience to get better, then come back to it whenever pretty much whenever everyone said, yo, Koi, come back to the game. And I was like, okay. So in that case, I was like, all right, let's see how this goes. Because yesterday I was playing Marvel Rivals, didn't have a stream idea, and then I was like, hey, yo, what's going on? And then they were telling me, yo, Koi, you got to play Rune Slayer, man. It's much better than it was to begin with. And I was like, all right, you know what? Fine, let's give it a shot. So I did. I gave it a shot, and I can say for once that I am not disappointed in a Roblox game's release. Now, there's a lot of Roblox games that tend to release like a style of, how do you say, roguelike RPG, but they tend to be just a copy and paste of the original Rogue Lineage source code, or they tend to be a copy and paste of like different source codes that are old games from the past. This one doesn't feel that way at all, even though the game kind of feels like Deep Woken and more like newer Deep Woken, but it does have some grit to it because it has no permadeath, it's got a full-on RPG system, some real story, and some real, how do you say, quests that actually make sense compared to, say, like other games where it's like you don't really have a story. This one, it's just straightforward. Be an adventurer, become the best at what you can be. They have subclasses, they got pets, they got freaking different weapons, they got different skills, different bosses, and none of it feels clunky except for maybe one thing that I have a big problem with, and that has to be with specifically the parry system. I think the parry system is just a bit smooth-brained. I don't think it's that good. I think it's that one delay at the start, the delay that it takes for you to even pick up your weapon. Between that and the 2 seconds, you're not going to hit many parries in this game unless you use a faster weapon or something like that. So, with that being the case, honestly, everything else has just been a blast. The story is good. The combat itself is very fun, very fluent. The the weapons just look simplistic but work. Like, that's the best part. Like, the fact that they work and they feel clean and they work and they do their job, and there's unique weapons that you could get. There's boss drops you can get. There's boss armor drops you could get. Boss weapons you could get. Crafting system, absolutely peak. I think it's the best crafting system I've seen in an RPG in a long time because it's straight to the point. You got this one item, you just need a couple of these pieces and you're done. Nothing out of the ordinary. Don't gotta jump through 30 loops for one item. It's really freaking simple, and it works because it keeps you playing. The skill system, absolutely peak, because it actually allows you to not just work with your skills, but also allows you to mess with it, like to go in and out. Like, you're not stuck in one playstyle. You can switch up your playstyle mid-game and really just mess around with that, and it feels really, really good. Honestly, I have not stopped thinking about what is my next build idea. And it makes me want to wipe my slot and start from the beginning because there's some things that I want to redo with a different like slot. The races are pretty cool. The passives work. I think that early game, a lot of the stats just don't really matter. But towards the late game, or towards the mid to late game, it feels really compelling to mix up my build a little bit. Maybe switch up the style, add a brand new weapon, maybe add an offhand to my kit. And it feels really, really good when you do that. Like, it feels good that I can go back and do that on the same slot without having to wipe it, without having to do these extra loops. Maybe you got to pay Robux if you want to speed it up. But like buy a second slot and whatever, but the game has the ability to offer you other playstyles without you having to do much. The only thing that you're kind of locked with is whenever you take your first subclass at like level 25, level 30. But obviously that's recommended at like level 30. So, you know, by itself, the game itself has just been such a blast. The bosses, in my opinion, are some of the funnest bosses I've played. Like with stuff that's like a little more tedious, like they're tedious but in a good way. And whenever people say, "Yo, Koi, is it a Souls-like or is it more like Deep Woken?" I think that Deep Woken's more of a hack and slash than a Souls-like because there's less impact with death and there's less impact with bosses and less impact with the way that you play the game. With this game, you feel the impact. You feel that your character is doing major damage. You can't see health bars, so it's quite easy. And it doesn't feel like I'm gonna be like, it doesn't feel like you're jumping hurdles to a ridiculous degree in order to get slightly powerful. It feels like you're getting to that point by moving on through the story, by defeating these many bosses, by crafting the specific armor, and it feels good. I hope that they keep the system going, because the way that it has gotten so far is in the early game, you struggle a little bit. You fight some creatures. You do little bits of damage. You're like, okay, I need to chrome up. I need to get some more items. I need to become stronger. You become stronger, but there's still bigger and greater threats than some of the bosses in the early game. Greater threats with new gimmicks, new styles of gameplay, new moves that just throw you off guard. And is that really, like, does it mean that you're going to have like a bad time? Maybe at the beginning, but that's when you got to take a break, really reevaluate it, and be like, okay, the panther's going to jump the hell out of me, the bird's going to throw me in the air, but if I could dodge these very specific moments, time it, it's not that complicated. It's not like, you know, it's really not. It's not like some games where it's like, you know, DBOG, where you got to do 30 different freaking attacks before the boss dies, or you got to like make like they're gonna spam moves on you or anything like that. No, this game's got gimmicks, and the gimmicks work, and they feel really good, and it feels fun to play, and I like that. Yeah, but besides that, do I see this game getting bigger? Do I see it like working a lot better? How is it with friends? I think that with friends, it's an amazing game. Do I think it's going to get bigger? Yes, I think it's going to get much bigger than where it's at right now. And I can't wait to go back in it and really go back and play the game. I definitely think tomorrow I'm going to stream it again, because I want to switch up the playstyle. I want to mess with my build and stuff like that. It feels really, really good. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I just wanted to, like, you know, come and spill my guts about my experience with Doomslayer, since people tend to ask these questions to people who, like, they feel like, you know, have good judgment in games. And I think that, you know, with some minor lag problems and with the parry system in the game being kind of, you know, choppy, I think that the game definitely has a good head over its shoulders, and I can't wait to see more content. All right, later.